The following is a short tale on a tall man. So is this just a tall tale? Well, sadly not. Let's set the scene. Picture the following. It is a cold, foggy night in London. The year is 1782, and you are a tourist, just doing touristy things. Once you've acclimatized to the horrendous stench coming from the River Thames, and of course, London's air pollution problem. London's second most famous diarist, John Evelyn, had a lot to say about London's terrible air quality in the 1660s. Well, one might be struck with how unusual London was for the time. At a time when regular English settlements ran to around 1,000 people, London had grown out of all proportion. This was driven largely by the first wave of the Industrial Revolution, and other nefarious schemes like the Atlantic slave trade and the East India Company's invasion of the Indian subcontinent. Suddenly awash with cash, London had grown into one of the world's biggest mercantile powerhouses. In excess of 700,000 people lived and worked in the capital. That number would rise to 1 million by 1801. The rich prospered, building fancy Georgian townhouses. The poorest Londoners roughed it in dilapidated, overcrowded slums, in places like St Giles and the East End. But to a tourist from anywhere else on Earth in 1782, London would have been quite the culture shock. London was a truly cosmopolitan city, with merchants, dignitaries, sailors, and even a fair number of refugees from all over the globe. A relatively new concept, that of a celebrity, had taken off in recent decades. The idea of fame, of course, had been around forever. Kings and generals, most commonly, were famous for their deeds. Writers could be famous for their works. You see, the Glorious Revolution of 1688 had opened the door to journalism. Journalism eventually led to magazines like Tatler at the turn of the 18th century. And this new media type, driven by highlighting personalities, well, they soon tired of running interviews solely with royalty. How often could one really read of King George III's great love of tending to his own gardens,